Hello again, my sweet sixth graders. I wanted to show you a couple more things on how to kind of connect your collaged trees into your background. I've worked a little bit here, but I haven't touched this a whole lot. And check out that spear, y'all. Look how sharp that is. Remember, it doesn't matter how annoyed you are with your brother or sister. This is not a torture tool. Our supplies are used only for love and creativity. So, I'm going to start by just kind of assessing the tree, right? We know we want the base to be bigger. We want it to get gradually thinner at the branches and then really super thin at the twig, ergo the really sharp tip. So I'm going to start working on those tiny little branches. Remember, in creating atmospheric perspective, which is our fancy way of saying depth, because some things appear closer and other things appear further away, we're going to have more details in the foreground. So the more small lines you have, the more these trees will seem to come forward. I've also noticed I've used two different colors of black construction paper. There are different kinds of blacks. So I'm going over all of my construction paper as I do this. And then I can start looking for gaps. And by gaps, I mean places like this, where you have kind of a thick branch, which should be thicker coming away from the tree, actually. I'm getting close right there. And then, how do I connect it? So it needs to be a little thicker coming out of here, right? Then get gradually thinner and thinner. And remember, branches, like trees, are lyrical. They seem to dance through the space, right? They're unpredictable. They're not symmetrical or the same on both sides. They're always different. Right? So you can get as detailed and complex as you wish. You might even decide that, there's some little leaves that are fluttering away in the wind, if you wish. I've already kind of gotten ahead of myself a little bit. I got excited about drawing some insects. We will get to that step in the next video. For now, I'm just going to show you how to kind of improve upon your tree. So I'm making them a little thicker as they hit the base branches and gradually thinner. So I'm barely touching as I go up, okay? And they'll almost kind of disappear into the sky. This is kind of a weird thing here. I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm going to come back and make this guy thicker. So it's a thicker branch, therefore this will be a thicker branch too. So you just kind of let it grow where it needs to. If you make a mistake and do something you don't like, you have a couple of options. You can either use an eraser, or you can get your white charcoal pencil and just kind of come in closer on some of these things, and you'll never know the difference. So here where it's connecting, I always want it to be a little bit thicker, right? Thicker down towards the bottom. I made this a lot thicker because it was too thin when I cut it out. That's okay, we can fix it with charcoal. Okay, so I'm gonna spend quite a bit of time really making sure this tree makes sense, that all the limbs are connected. I have some limbs that are like floating off in outer space. They're not connected to anything. Come back and make sure that they all have something to connect to, that they're not just floating in outer space. They can overlap. They can go, again, in different and unexpected ways. You can have interesting window shapes through the trees. All of that's really fun to play with, okay? I'd probably work a little bit longer on this, especially in making this dark and making these connections, but I don't want to take up much more of your time because I think you get the idea. The next thing I'm going to do is think about light source, and we know the light is coming from the moon, so it's coming